Kekuatan Multinasional Siap Bungkam Mulut Besar China yang menentang hukum internasional dengan mengagresi Laut China Selatan. Dua kelompok kapal induk AS melakukan latihan bersama di Laut China Selatan pada hari Selasa, beberapa hari setelah kapal perang AS berlayar di dekat pulau-pulau yang dikuasai China di perairan yang disengketakan, ketika China mengecam Amerika Serikat karena merusak perdamaian dan stabilitas. Laut China Strike Group dan Nimitz Carrier Strike Group melakukan banyak latihan yang bertujuan untuk meningkatkan interoperabilitas antara aset serta kemampuan komando dan kontrol, kata Angkatan Laut AS, menandai operasi kapal induk ganda pertama di jalur air yang sibuk sejak Juli 2020. Latihan itu dilakukan beberapa hari setelah China mengutuk pelayaran kapal perusak USS Johnny Sunshine di dekat Kepulauan Paracel yang dikuasai China dalam apa yang disebut Amerika Serikat sebagai operasi kebebasan navigasi misi pertama Angkatan Laut AS sejak Presiden Joe Biden mulai menjabat. Bulan lalu, militer AS mengatakan penerbangan militer China di atas Laut China Selatan sesuai dengan pola perilaku tidak stabil dan agresif, tetapi tidak menimbulkan ancaman bagi kelompok penyerang kapal induk Angkatan Laut AS di wilayah tersebut. Amerika Serikat telah membantah klaim teritorial China yang luas di wilayah tersebut, menuduhnya melakukan militerisasi Laut China Selatan dan mencoba mengintimidasi tetangga seperti Malaysia, Filipina, dan Vietnam, yang memiliki klaim yang tumpang tindih dengan China di wilayah yang kaya sumber daya tersebut. Kami berkomitmen untuk memastikan penggunaan yang sah dari laut yang dinikmati semua negara berdasarkan hukum internasional, kata Laksamana Muda Jim Kirk, Komandan Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, dalam sebuah pernyataan. Berikut ini, 5 senjata perang Amerika Serikat yang siap melantakkan China. Sebagai negara adidaya, Amerika Serikat telah mempertahankan militer yang tangguh dan berteknologi maju selama beberapa dekade. 1. Ford Class Aircraft Carriers. 2. F-22 Raptor. 3. Virginia Class Submarine. 4. B-2 Spirit. 5. F-35 Lightning II.
For the foreseeable future, the F-22 will dominate the air environment wherever it's sent. China's existing fighters, the indigenous J-10 and various derivatives of the Su-27 flanker design, J-11, J-16, Sukhoi 30 MKK, are not stealthy and in a beyond visual range battle would be at a disadvantage against the F-22. In a shooting war, the F-22 Raptor could cripple the People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAAF, by stripping away support aircraft that allow Chinese fighters and bombers to fly long distances. F-22 could evade Chinese combat air patrol sweeps and engage airborne early warning (AEW) aircraft such as the KJ-2000 and mid-air refueling aircraft such as the Xi'an H-6. Chinese aircraft would then be limited to whatever fuel they can carry, and Chinese early warning coverage would be limited to mainland radar installations. The ground attack and electronic warfare capabilities of the F-22 would also pose a problem for the PLAAF. The F-22's ability to evade radar en route to bombing targets on the ground makes it a platform that can likely penetrate Chinese air defenses. The F-22's sensor suite makes it capable of quietly collecting enemy data, such as radio and radar emissions, without an adversary knowing it was in the area. This capability could even be useful in peacetime for intelligence collection purposes. China does have 5th-generation fighter aircraft in development to counter the F-22. The J-20, whose development path is uncertain, may emerge as a fighter to challenge the F-22. The J-31 is another 5th-generation design. Development prototypes of both aircraft are currently flying, but it may be another decade before either reach operational status. In the meantime, China is very exposed to the F-22 threat, and there's not a whole lot it can do about it. Number 3. Virginia-class submarine. The Virginia-class attack submarines are the most advanced nuclear submarines in the world. First introduced in 2004, the Virginia-class submarines displace 7,800 tons and are powered by a single S-9G nuclear reactor that gives each unlimited range. The submarines are not only capable of attacking enemy ships and submarines, but also capable of launching cruise missile attacks, serving as a mothership for unmanned undersea vehicles, supporting naval special operations forces, and collecting intelligence. The submarines are armed with 4 torpedo tubes, armed with a mixture of Mark 48 guided torpedoes and sub-Harpoon anti-ship missiles. In addition to torpedo tube armament, the Virginia class has 12 vertical launch silos for Tomahawk land attack long-range cruise missiles. The submarines can also transport U.S. Navy SEALs and other naval special forces. China fears the Virginia-class submarines because it has zero operational experience in anti-submarine warfare, ASW, and a woefully insufficient ASW capability. None of China's submarines, including the Shang nuclear or Yuan class diesel-electric boats, can match the Virginia class in sensors, stealth, and armament, and would be at a distinct disadvantage in one-on-one undersea duel. China has approximately 3 Y-8 long-range maritime patrol aircraft in the same class as the Western P-3C Orion. Japan, by contrast, has roughly 100 P-3C Orions and considers ASW so important it's developing its own replacement for the aging Orion. Most, if not all, of China's surface fleet, including the carrier Liaoning, have anti-submarine weapons, but they're of unknown quality, and many, such as ASW torpedoes, are copies of older Western and Soviet designs. China is currently working to improve its ASW capabilities, including building up to 20 Type 054A frigates armed with modern sonars, anti-submarine barrel mortars, torpedoes, and ASW helicopters. An anti-submarine variant of the Type 056 corvette, equipped with an advanced towed sonar array, is rumored to be under production. Beijing is also hard at work developing an ocean floor surveillance network. 11 Virginia-class submarines are currently in service, with a projected overall buy of at least 30 submarines. The Virginia class represents an exceptional capability pointed against an exceptional vulnerability. In a future conflict with China, the Virginia submarines could punch well above their weight. Number 4. B-2 Spirit. One of the most recognizable weapons in the world, the bat-winged B-2 Spirit bomber, is also one of the deadliest. Originally conceived as a strategic nuclear bomber, the B-2 was modified at the end of the Cold War to also serve as a conventional bomber. The B-2's ability to penetrate air defense networks, travel up to 6,000 miles without refueling, and carry up to 40 tons of satellite-guided bombs makes it possibly the most lethal weapons system currently in existence. The B-2 is fearsome to Beijing, as it's undetectable and can reach targets anywhere in China. The B-2 can take off from Andersen Air Force Base on the island of Guam and strike targets in Xinjiang and Shanghai. If the United States and China were to go to war in the Western Pacific, China could expect strikes anywhere within its borders. This has far-reaching implications. No part of China would be safe. Any airbase, ammunition depot, rail station, power station, or port could be attacked. The amount of airspace China would have to defend increases dramatically, and China would have to spread out its force of 296 Su-27 and Su-35 fighters to cover the entire country. Even then, detection and interception would be far from guaranteed. The B-2 is yet another weapon system that illustrates the many one-sided advantages the United States possesses. In any hypothetical conflict with the United States, China could not hope to attack the U.S. mainland with anything but cyber and nuclear weapons. The B-2 has no equivalent in Chinese arsenals, although, to be fair, a strategic bomber has never been a Chinese priority. There are rumors of a stealth bomber under development in China, but so far nothing tangible has appeared. Unlike the other weapons on this list, the B-2 bomber has already attacked Chinese territory, technically. The B-2 has name recognition in China for having mistakenly attacked the Chinese embassy in Belgrade during NATO's 1999 air campaign against Yugoslavia. 3 Chinese citizens were killed and 20 wounded in what the Chinese government called a barbarian act. The bombing set back U.S.-Chinese relations and ignited considerable anti-American sentiment in China. 5. F-35 Lightning II. The F-35 Lightning II is America's next-generation fighter bomber meant to replace existing aircraft such as the F-16, F/A-18C, and A-10. Maligned for being over budget and behind schedule, the F-35 strike fighter has had a rocky development history. Still, if the F-35 does indeed eventually work as advertised, it will be a formidable aircraft. The sheer number of F-35s in service will be problematic for Beijing. Although the U.S. Air Force's campaign to make every new fighter a fifth-generation fighter has been enormously expensive, and resulting in an aging fighter fleet, an all-stealth fighter fleet does complicate matters for potential adversaries. The F-35 will extend China's stealth problem. In any future conflict, China would already likely see F-22 Raptors based at Kadena Air Base on the island of Okinawa. U.S. Air Force F-16 fighters at Misawa Air Base in northern Japan will likely be replaced by F-35As. The increased range of the F-35 over the F-16 means that fighters from Misawa could theoretically strike the Chinese mainland with standoff weapons. Further complicating the issue for Beijing, some of China's other potential adversaries, such as Australia, will also be flying F-35s. All of China's air defenses, from AEW aircraft to surface-to-air missiles guarding aircraft carriers to man-portable systems, would have to be optimized against stealth aircraft. Not even the United States is properly prepared for such a threat. While aircraft such as the F-35 are extremely expensive, an all-stealth force does push adversaries to invest in expensive upgrades of their air defenses. Finally, like the F-22 Raptor, the F-35 has an advanced suite of sensors that add intelligence collection, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare capabilities. The F-35's AN/AAQ-37 distributed aperture system is reportedly capable of tracking ballistic missiles and other targets at ranges exceeding 800 miles. While the APG-81 radar system can map terrain and enemy forces on the ground. These capabilities will be useful not only in wartime but peacetime as well.